Hi everybody. Since in honor of Texas Foodways Day, I'm gonna make chicken fried steak, or CFS as we call it. No, we don't call it CFS. We just call it chicken fried steak. Do people call it pepper steak in Texas? No.
They do not call it CFS.
They do not call it
for
CFS.
sure.
They call it chicken fried steak. Anyway, you read an article about chicken fried steak. It turns out it's a very important food. Anyway, I love making chicken fried steak. This, what I'm gonna do today, this recipe and this this whole technique, right, is something that I learned from my mother-in-law, Mrs. Linda Frost of Spanish Fort, Texas. Anyway, so she taught me how to do this, and it was a revelation. Basically, the thing is, this chicken fried steak is good chicken fried steak. It's not that garbage that you get somewhere else that's sort of like a hockey puck. You know what I mean? Like, remember that time I went to a Cracker Barrel and ordered a chicken fried steak and it cut the roof of my mouth?
Yes.
I think it cut the roof of my mouth. The first problem is I was in a Cracker Barrel, but anyway, so we're gonna start by showing you, you gotta tenderize your meat, right? And so we're gonna tenderize the meat a little bit. Then we're gonna go through the frying process here. And then we'll make the gravy. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So chicken fried steak. So you start with this cut of meat here. This is cube steak. It's a what would you call this? I would call this a kind of relatively tough, cheap cut of meat.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect.
And you find it in any grocery store anywhere. So I cut them in half because we're gonna tenderize them and they're gonna get a lot bigger. I've tried this with like really good, I did it once with a really good cut of meat and it was not as good. It just didn't taste right. You know what I mean? So you gotta do it that way. So anyway, so on to tenderizing our meat. I got this crazy thing. Thanks, Mama. Sorry. Thanks. She's making a bad face. She got me this crazy tenderizer thing. Look at this. It's got some sort of alien name. Klimu. No one even knows what that is. But anyway, I generally use this thing. But if you don't have an alien device, you can use just a knife. You know what I mean? So turn your knife around. Use the broad blade of a good kitchen knife, and just go to town. You know what I mean? And tenderize. Beat. Almost said something terrible. Just tenderize the meat as you do, right? There you go. And you see it's getting, it's sort of thinning out. I like this thing. Look at this sucker. And it makes lots of noise. Isn't that fantastic? Because you can probably see in here, like, you got that kind of marbling through there, but it's a pretty tough, sort of elasticy. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if you don't do it, it's going to be really, it's just tough and gristly, And so, you probably notice that's pretty nice. Anyway, so
continue to do that.
Yeah, so you just continue to tenderize your meat. Or, like I was showing you before, All right. I guess it's presumably, that's already tenderized, but it's like double tenderized. My mother-in-law said you gotta do it. Otherwise you don't get that really nice, beautiful, some tender piece of chicken fried steak. You've probably eaten a tough chicken fried steak, haven't you? I bet you have.
I have.
You have, and it's no good. What's the point? No one wants a tough chicken fried steak.
Oh, I just remembered. It's also called country fried steak.
Country fried steak. Yeah,
That's what it is.
Country fried steak. Anyway, I got more work to do. I'll be back here in a little bit once we finish with this. All right. Hello. We're back. I'm in chicken fried steak world. Hello, cat. Hello, cat. Hello, cat. So anyway, so I've done we've got it all tenderized and everything. Notice that like those 4 pieces of meat now are 9. Yeah. I've turned it on the sink so it seems like I'm washing my hands after picking up the cat. Because we don't eat cat hair all the time or anything. Okay. Anyway. So
What do you have in that bowl?
oh, okay. So what I've got here are just basically 3-4 eggs. Just beat some eggs in a bowl, and put a little pepper in there. I've got some flour here. I'd say, I don't know, it's a little like, maybe that's 2 cups. I don't know. I don't measure it. I think what I got a bunch of different sort of little spices in there. Mostly salt, pepper though. It's pretty simple. Lots of pepper. I mean, it's it's a peppery kind of steak, I think. I don't know, I usually put like garlic powder, onion powder, stuff like that. Maybe like an Italian seasoning or maybe a little oregano. You know what I mean? Just a little something, some dried spices. However you like it, Different strokes for different folks. Whatever makes you happy, Anyway, so I've got some oil here, just vegetable oil, on the stove, and a cast iron skillet, because I love cast iron. That feels about right. This is one of those things I don't really monitor the temperature. We'll talk more about the frying process here. But anyway, so get started. A good rule of thumb when it comes to doing breading is always, one hand is the dry hand and one hand's the wet hand. I don't always follow it, but so, put in a little, yeah. Let's give that a good, so it's an egg wash, I'd say that's traditional, isn't it? An egg wash for your chicken fried steak. Go back, so my wet hand, go back to my dry hand. The wet hand, the dry hand. The wet hand and the dry hand.
Stop talking.
Yeah, okay, I'll start talking about it. Okay, anyway. So, you get the idea. And I kind of press it down, Sort of like Professor Trout does with her fried green tomatoes.
Oh, you have to make those.
Yeah, I know, her recipe's pretty great. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. So then I kind of get boogie and I sort of hustle, man. Don't want to crowd your pan too much. That looks like that oil's probably a little hot. Anyway, this is going to take a long time. I mean, like 1 cast iron skillet and 9 pieces of steak. I'm just going to deal with it.
We can come back.
Yeah, we'll come back. But you get the idea, right? I mean, so it's just pretty simple.
Let's come back to the flip.
Yeah, we can come back to the flip, and maybe I can talk a little bit about, what do you want it to look like? I'm going to put 3 pieces in there. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling frisky. Chicken fried steak. Man, it's a special evening. I love a chicken fried steak. Are we going to eat all 9 pieces of this? Not tonight. Not tonight. That would be a lot of chicken fried steak. However, it's delicious out of the refrigerator. I'll even eat it cold. Would you eat it cold?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
ketchup.
Ketchup. Yeah, you put ketchup on it. It's good. It's good with an egg in the morning, if you ask me. You're not a big fan of that.
No.
I'm a big, like, chicken fried steak with an egg. All right, we'll be back. Talk a little bit about the fry. Well, we're back. We're frying this up now. So it's a little low. I'm constantly fussing with it. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't really have a tried and true way of doing it. But you can probably tell here the rate of the bubble in the frying pan is about right. You know, it's kind of a moderate. It's not just ripping. You know what I mean? You probably noticed when I put it in there, it's a little hot because it started just going. You know, it's really going. This is a nice, easy. Anyway, but you can see that on the sides, it's getting a little brown. You know, so that's a good flip right there. Good time to flip. See, that looks really good. There you go. Of course, it's gonna bubble pretty hard to start. Then we'll back off. Oh my, look at that. Smells good, doesn't it?
It does smell good.
Woo! That looks really good. So that's about the color. I think the other thing, I don't really think in terms of time when I'm doing chicken fried steak. I think in terms of color, right? If it gets that beautiful light golden brown, you know, that's what you want, that sort of golden brown color. Man, that looks about right, doesn't it?
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. See, that's probably a little light right there. But you can see that. You see that sort of rich golden brown color? That's just what you want. That's beautiful. So, you know, it's a waiting game. You know? And then it's just repeat. Nice, it's really good. I mean, the good thing about it too is it smells incredible, and you know the house smells great for a really long time. It makes you hungry. Oh, yeah. But anyway, that's the frying process. You know, I'll come in there and I'll peek in on it every once in a while. Okay, you know, yeah, it's not even. You know. I honestly, I fuss with my heat probably too much, but I don't know. Things are being displaced, you know. There's more flour in there. The oil's always moving around. It's a dynamic process. Right? The chicken fried steak. Yeah, Mama Frost, Mrs. Linda Frost, when she does it, she fusses with it quite a lot. Have you noticed that? With her beautiful left hand, she does it with a fork, right? So you can eat it. Usually she has a fork, and she'll be. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like the fork is longer than that.
Yeah, it's a longer fork. But you know what she does? She does that.
Oh,
it's like a longer fork.
Yeah.
But she's fussing. You know, she always fusses with it. She's kind of looking at it. You know, I believe me, I watched for many years as she made this delicious thing. It was a revelation the first time I ate her chicken fried steak. I couldn't believe it, right? I was used to, let's be honest, to not very good food in the Midwest. And then coming to Spanish Fort, Texas, and eating that chicken fried steak was a pretty amazing moment. So anyway, so she'd fuss with it, you know. You know, to move it around a little. I would say that my mother-in-law is deliberate when it comes to, you know, this, because she knows it's got to be just right. She's an artist. She truly is when it comes to chicken fried steak. She knows what she's doing. So I learned from the best. That looks pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah. So that's about what it should look like. You see it's got a nice golden brown there that comes off. That's really pretty.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. And so what I do from here is, yeah, I think that's done. Look at that one.
That one definitely.
That definitely is. So anyway, I just put it on a rack and let it do its thing. There you go. So we'll see you here after a little while. I got a lot of chicken fried steak to fry. We'll come back with the gravy here in a little bit. He's here in phase 3 of the grand chicken fried steak. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, take a look at this, huh? Those are really beautiful. They turned out really wonderfully. This one we were pretty excited about because we thought for a minute it looked like the state of Illinois, but it didn't really pan out. You know, like if you kind of look at it that way, if you think of it, that's the lakefront. That's sort of, you know, Lake Michigan there, and then, you know, you've got it going there, you know. It doesn't really work, but
anymore.
that's like sort of Missouri over there in Iowa, Quad Cities. Anyway, that one didn't really work out. But anyway, so now we're gonna make the gravy. So you'll notice you got a lot of stuff left here. You know what I mean? So what you want to do is get rid of most of it. So I'm gonna dump it out in this pan that's not gonna melt. That's ew. I like that. So go about there. Notice that you got all that. I don't know what's the
Good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. What's the Yiddish word? Schmutz. Anyway, it's good stuff, man. And so that's sort of your roux, basically. So it basically ends up making a roux, you know, what's at the bottom of a gravy, you know. So this is evaporated milk, Pet brand. We usually get there's another
Carnation.
Carnation.
They didn't
brand.
have that.
They didn't have Carnation brand. My mother-in-law uses Carnation brand exclusively, I believe.
I believe she has used.
She's
the
used
Pet
Pet in the band?
at least once.
Okay, so I keep the heat pretty low, and what's going on here is you're just working it. All right? You don't want it to burn on the bottom. And it just takes time, patience with the gravy, you know? It's pretty simple. I don't know what it was, but for years I couldn't get gravy right. I think what it was, I couldn't get the grease to wondrous leftover, you know, fried up pieces, flour, whatever that thing is, whatever that is, you know. I couldn't get my ratio right, and so I don't know. You could attest to this. I think it was rarely loose. It was mostly like spackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you could probably like fill holes in your drywall with the gravy that I made. So for some reason, I just couldn't seem to get it right. But the cool thing here is too, a lot of your spices and everything are already in there. I mean, so it's very rare that you have to put much in it. I don't do it. A buddy of mine likes to mess with it. You know, he'll put this or that in it to kind of ramp it up. I like to keep it simple. This is good, you know. Think about this long day in Texas. You know, working cattle or out in the oil field. People do that, right? Did I ever tell you that? I told you that before, that I couldn't believe it when I got to Texas and moved there, that there were people that just walked around that looked like cowboys. You would see them on movies and television, and there are these people who are wearing out. I was like, they wear those hats.
Yeah, but those are the people who aren't even real cowboys.
Oh,
that's the problem.
That's the problem.
I've tried to tell you this.
Yeah, you've tried to
before.
tell me that over and over again. The real cowboys don't actually wear that stuff.
They wouldn't be in town.
They wouldn't be in town. They wouldn't be in town. Yeah. But people wear cowboy hats.
Yeah, but not like what you're describing.
Not like the big brush popper shirts and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Or they certainly don't. What's the long?
A duster.
Yeah, a duster.
No.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let that get a little hotter. So you know, it's a milk-based sauce, so it's gonna reduce. I'm gonna go ahead and let it get a little hot.
So, what kind of heat do you put?
It's like low, medium low. I never let it get any hotter than that. It's just you know, I wish I had, this is more me more or less eyeballing it. You can see it's starting to thicken now. This just takes time. And the other thing to remember about gravy is that you're going to get it to a thickness that you like, but then remember when it stands, it's going to get a little thicker. Especially this stuff. It gets a little thicker. You see, I'm always sort of moving off the sides because that's where it gets to. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's beautiful. Some people might not think so, but they don't know what they're talking about. It's the best. I love a good gravy. Good gravy is a chicken fried steak gravy. Get on. Remember that time our friend, Andy came over and he had it? That was over in that place in West Nashville we lived when I was in grad school. Or maybe it was that, I don't remember. But I think he ate about 5 pieces of it. Yeah, this stuff is great. It's a treat. It's a special meal, isn't it? Wouldn't you say chicken fried steak is a special meal?
It's not something you should have every day.
It's not something you should have every
definitely.
day, but boy, when you have it, you know, it's one of those meals that you just sort of think, oh man, CFS. You don't call it CFS. Who was it? Was it a friend of one of my really great friends in the world started just referring to it as CFS, and I picked it up.
Is that your friend Aggie?
Aggie does not refer to it as CFS. Yeah, that's my friend Aggie. Is his middle name is Aggie, after the Texas A&M Aggies. His father was a Texas A&M fan, and so named him Dwayne Aggie. And so his middle name is in fact Aggie, and so we sometimes call him Aggie. Anyway, so it just takes time. You have to be patient with the gravy.
So, take a break.
Yeah, I guess we could take a break. I'm trying to think about, I mean, do I it just takes time. If we just sit here and watch me mix gravy, it's gonna be, you know. You know, and then you kind of I'll let it do a little bubble for a little bit. That's kind of long. Anyway, why don't we stop and I'll just show you. Oh, we'll come back once it gets to where it needs to go, and then I'll show you the consistency. Yeah, let's take a break. Okay, so here we are. Look at this. Look at that. See that consistency? Perfect. Right? Really nice gravy there. So let's go ahead and I moved to the rubber spatula, which I think is a good call. Oh, and another thing we were thinking about when we were on hiatus there for a minute was that hey y'all, that oil is ripping hot. So be really careful when you're handling hot oil. You know, I'd hate to have somebody, I don't know, burn themselves horribly.
Or just at all.
Or at all. I mean, yeah, just like a mild burn is enough. Not just a horrible burn. I mean... Anyway. So be careful. Like this, for example, that was ripping hot. So you put it in that metal bowl, it's going to be hot, man.
Yeah.
What I'll do with that, though, once it cools off, is I'll put it in a mason jar or in a can of some kind, and I will keep it handy, and I will reuse this oil. Some people don't like to do that. I know some people that don't like to do that, but I like to do that. There's some people I know who don't like that, but I don't think, you know, the random cans of greasy cans of mason jar oil in the cabinets are not always
They're not appreciated.
welcome, but you know. So anyway, let's go ahead and plate one up and so you can take a look. I've got some beans going over here. I'm cheating. I got an Instant Pot. But I think this pretty guy. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. Isn't that nice? And there you are. That is chicken fried steak done the Mama Linda Frost way, which is the only way. Anyway, it's beautiful and it tastes amazing. So anyway, if you have any questions anytime and you want to ask me about some directions about cooking chicken fried steak, I'll answer them. I'm always happy to answer questions about chicken fried steak because it's a beautiful food. Anyway, so anyway, be safe, be well, and you know,
Take care.
take care. And I gotta wash all this. Bye.